So tonight is a hockey night in Carolina. The New York Rangers coming to town. This is a game that I try to figure out if I want to be at or not. And if you see me anywhere near the stadium, you might want to sprinkle some salt over my shoulder or flip a couple of coins or whatnot, because every time I'm in the building, Artemi Panarin tends to score goals. I don't know why this is. Just one of those things. Maybe I'm his good luck charm, but I am not on Artemi Panarin's payroll. Nor am I not on Marty Necas's payroll. Marty Necas having quite the heck of a season. So the Carolina Hurricanes trying to take care of the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers on a 3-game losing streak. 3 games. Unheard of. And road games, of course, always make it more challenging. They take their Canadian road trip, get a couple of dubs early on, and Seattle's not Canada, but it's part of it. And they get a win at Edmonton, and they get a win at St. Louis, and get outscored by a ton of goals. And now they're back in the States, trying to keep pace with the Carolina Hurricanes. And where the Carolina Hurricanes are in a little bit of a weird spot themselves, right? Metropolitan Division, feeling things out, but struggling through a little bit of an identity crisis. And what I mean by that is that the cornerstone of the Carolina Hurricanes has always been the system. You play both ways. You not only press on offense, but you press on defense as well. And you've always had these stellar defensive pairs in recent history, is our guide in this case, with Brent Burns and Jacob Slavin. With Brady Shea and Brett Pesce, no longer with the team, and they are totally forgotten now. I forget, spite you. Jalen Chatfield, Dmitry Orlov. We bring back Shane Gostisbehere from a couple seasons ago, has a great season in Detroit, now back with us. Ghost is here. We've introduced Sean Walker, the fiery spark plug that we all hope that he can be over the next several seasons. That is the system. But the Carolina Hurricanes are transitioning, I believe, into a different spot. Into a spot to where they are going to rely more on offense than they ever will on defense, and that's going to happen and evolve over the next several months. It won't change the philosophy of what the coaches and the strategy will be in those morning skate sessions that we also famously hear about, but it will change how you will view them on the ice. You will expect the Carolina Hurricanes to score more goals. Head coach Rod Brind'amour talking about building on momentum as they roll into this critical homestand.
Yeah, like I said, it was a tough game. We knew going in, we were one of the better teams, and that pretty much unfolded how we thought it was going to. Had a great third period, and some really good individual efforts on the game.
That's Rod Brind'amour talking about the win at Dallas, against Dallas at home, 6-4, in which I had thought, and we had a discussion during our show Next Up, 9 to 10 every morning here on 99.9 The Fan, about this was going to be a closer game. This was going to be, all right, we're going to have to deal with a really large guy in goal for Dallas, and we're going to have to pick and choose our spots. Well, what happened? 6 different players picked and chose their spots for the Carolina Hurricanes. And they put up 6 goals. And this team has not been shut out. This team also is going through a goaltending, I'm not saying issue. I'm not sure we could say problem.
Purgatory?
Yeah, purgatory is a pretty strong word, too. I'm not sure there's a very solid word in the English language that sits on the tip of my tongue about the tandem of Spencer Martin and Yaniv Peretz right now, with Pyotr Kochetkov in concussion protocol. My name's Paul Ihander, in for Tim Donnelly today. The Drive here on 99.9 The Fan. Graham Hill is here as well as we talk about a hockey night in Carolina. 7 o'clock puck drop here on 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to become structurally a much more offensive pressing team. They won't come out and say it. I don't believe they will come out and say it. But I think you will start noticing it a lot more, not just in the scoreboard, but how this team acts and presses. When this team is now healthy, and this team is healthy offensively, Seth Jarvis is back, and what does he do in the first game back? Scores a goal, adds a helper. Sebastian Aho scores a goal, 3 assists, 3 helpers for him. This is an offensive-minded team all of a sudden, with offensive-minded weapons who can stay healthy. They found themselves a sniper in Jack Roslovic. Sniper. Not the traditional hockey sniper, but the hockey scoring sniper on the ice.
The depth of the Hurricanes roster this year has shown already just in their early stretch of games, and even that 6-4 win against the Stars. Jarvis, Aho, Natchez, Shane Gostisbehere, all key contributors so far this season. Their ability to score in clutch moments is one of the reasons I think this team is so dangerous. And I agree with you, Paul. I think this can be a much more offensive-minded team, but it's not just about offense. It's also their blue line anchored by guys like Jacob Slavin, Brent Burns, Dmitry Orlov, Jalen Chatfield continue to play a vital role in controlling games. So I'm very curious to see how the Hurricanes are going to react tonight as they continue this tough home stretch. Let's not forget the history, right, between these two teams. Last year's playoff series. That was completely dominated by the Rangers. Sorry to say that, but let's just call it like it is.
No, it's truth. That's the thing. You shouldn't be sorry about saying the truth. We speak truth. We're not going to lie to you about what happens between these two teams. And we're not going to lie to you, and do not be surprised by the sheer amount of blue that will be at Club Lenovo tonight at Lenovo Center at 7 o'clock for puck drop. But the Carolina Hurricanes are going to put out a goalie who allowed 4 goals in the last game. And that is your top goalie available.
You have no other choice. That's your only option.
It is your only choice. And so this team will not suddenly become offensive-minded, but the philosophy will change on the ice to where they know they will have to score more goals. More goals than fans are used to. We are comfortable as a fan base, Carolina Hurricanes fan base, you're okay with this, and you've been conditioned to be okay with this because you are surprised when this team puts up a 5. You're like, oh my goodness, there's a reason why there is no incentive for this team to put up 5 goals that you can go run out and get a slice of something or a free car wash or a free cup of coffee somewhere. It just doesn't happen. It wouldn't be worth the incentive. So when it happens, you're surprised. This is now, for the Carolina Hurricanes, going to become more of the norm. More high-scoring affairs, more back and forth that you may not get used to. This team cannot always come back, so let's put that out there. And those tests are coming. They keep coming now because you have surpassed the goals that everybody predicted you to have. Fans, the Carolina Hurricanes were woefully underrated in the offseason. They were woefully underrated going into the regular season. Nothing confirmed that more than the loss to Tampa Bay 4-1, in which even Rod Brind'amour was like, we were not ready to start this season. And since that moment, they have been nearly unstoppable. Nearly unstoppable. The only thing that gets in their way is age and hamstrings that weren't quite stretched out when the game started. That's where they are at. But they are in command of where they need to be. But please understand that to keep that command, they will take a few more chances on offense. You will get frustrated by a few more passes out there as guys want to create more. As Jesper Kotkaniemi and Jack Drury, while they are solid hockey players, will take a handful of more chances than you're used to. They will try to thread the needle a few more times. And you can trust in the fact that your stars will be able to thread those needles, but they will try an awful lot more, at least in my humble opinion. Head coach Rod Brind'amour was asked the silliest question possible. Is it nice to be able to play close at home during the holidays? I bet you he says it's okay. He probably says it's okay. It might be okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't really get holidays in our sport too much, so they're kind of used to it. But it's nice just to be in one spot for a little while. I think it's been good. We felt like we've been on some couple long road trips already, so nice to settle in a little bit before we get back on the road.
You wonder when they start building and do all the remodeling out there and they build the parking decks and whatnot, that they won't have to take that State Fair road trip.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because that's half the part, right? The parking is half the issue.
Yeah.
So this won't be the question that he'll have to be asked about road trips, that they'll have more balance. They won't have to start one game at home and then disappear for all of October until Halloween.
You hope so, at least.
So is it nice to play home at the holidays? Sure, I suppose. I mean, what's the most pressing question for the Carolina Hurricanes outside of a win tonight? Let's be honest. Who's cooking Thanksgiving dinner?
Is it nice that across the ice from your goaltender, Spencer Martin, no offense to Spencer, I mean, he's done well so far in these first couple of outings this season for the Hurricanes. There you're going to be looking at Igor Shesterkin. That's not so nice.
Right. No, probably not. Or if it happens to be Jonathan Quick who pulls. I mean, the New York Rangers are a frustrating team. by all means. They frustrate the Carolina Hurricanes, just physicality, aggressiveness. You want to see them mix it up a little bit because you want to see kind of a physical playoff-type atmosphere kind of thing.
And guys like Trocheck, Kreider, Panarin, Zibanejad are all going to get theirs.
Yeah, Matt Rempe's back in their lineup. He got called up on Monday.
Oh, great.
For the Rangers. So, Matt Rempe play hockey. So guys are going to get knocked around. They're going to get knocked around. So big test coming for your Canes. Another one tonight. New York, the New York Rangers tonight. Florida on Friday in an afternoon game, which probably could have been the better question for Rod. Is it like, how does that throw off your circadian rhythms more than anything else?
Yeah, can you not eat as much tomorrow?
I'm like, it's a 3:00 game. So, again, I'm not a professional athlete. I just talk about sports, and this is fun, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, this is fun for us. And I hope we're being as informative and you're learning something and we can be amusing and entertaining at the same times for you, because these things to all of you, like for those of you dialed into us right now, these are important things for you. Like sports is important to you. You are putting on your best Carolina Hurricanes gear today. Yesterday I picked up a pie from a friend of mine, and I saw a woman walking her dog with her Rod Brind'amour jersey on, just rolling down the street. Like, that's how much this team means on a non-game day. Someone was wearing their Carolina Hurricane stuff. And it wasn't because there weren't clean things in her closet. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. It's because you love this team. You want your team to win. But as you listen to us this afternoon, and tonight with Adam Gold during Stormwatch at 6:30, and tonight during the game with Mike and Tripp at 7 o'clock, understand there'll be some subtle things that will be happening and some subtle things that will be changing for this team until they get their goalie situation settled, until they can figure out how to modify their defense to stand in front of these goalies. Spencer Martin cannot play every night, much like Pyotr Kochetkov could not play every night. And we know Freddie Anderson can't play every night because he's on IR and he had surgery. So what are you left with? You're left with trying to figure out how to play in front of a different goalie who's hadn't had the chance to call a lot in front of him, or see around Brent Burns very often, or see on a power play where you're trying to take that 2 minutes and erase it and kill that thing off. You're looking around that big body of Andrei Svechnikov, or you're looking around you're looking at Sebastian Aho trying to navigate that puck in the other zone. He doesn't get that view and hasn't had that view in a long time. Put yourself in his shoes. Put on all those pads and pretend. Don't close your eyes, but pretend that you are standing in net right now. And there are 4 guys in front of you trying to kill off a penalty kill. And you've only seen it in your career, let's be honest, 6 times. That's not a lot. You got to get used to it. And you cannot tell me, and do not tell me, and do not try to impress upon me or make me believe this, because you can go full hockey mode when you ask a player or goaltender this. Oh, it's just hockey. It's all the same. We all see the same things. It ain't. A 6-foot, 180-pound guy standing in front of you is much different from a Kachuk standing in front of you. That is a 6-foot, 4-inch chiseled 240 pounds. And don't think Matt Rempe skating at you, even in the lumbering 3 minutes of style that he gets. At 6'6" and 260 pounds, Matt Rempe hockey. That's not a big dude to look around. It's like looking around a tree. If you've ever played hide and seek, that is an impossible view. So it's a tough assignment for Spencer Martin. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to soften the blow by any means. But put yourself in his shoes and then listen to what we've been saying for the past few minutes, and you start thinking to yourself, yeah, they do have to adjust. They will have to make a few different moments moving forward.
The good news, though, for Hurricanes fans.
What's the good news,
and
Graham?
Also for Spencer Martin.
What's the good news, Graham?
The 5 guys in front of him on the ice are part of a team that is very well disciplined, very well coached. They thrive on sticking to their structure, their game, winning the pucks in the corners, and creating high danger scoring chances. They can avoid unnecessary penalties and not fall into the trap of the physicality aspect like we talked about, because emotions will be high between these two teams with a history, and keep the Rangers chasing the puck. I think this could be the Hurricanes game to win tonight and keep the momentum going heading into the Panthers matchup on Friday.
Okay. Well, one game at a time, right? Always one game at a time. Right now, the money line is in favor of the Canes, and over-under, as always, with hockey is 6.5. I'm like, seriously. I'm like, Vegas doesn't even try with the NHL, by the way, when it comes to over-unders, unless they know that it's the Edmonton Oilers, and the Edmonton Oilers are playing a team with, like, think San Jose. Then they might go 7.5, but let's be honest, 5.5, 6.5, that's kind of where it stands.